I want you to try something for a moment. Just lower the volume on the rest of the world.
Yeah, just tune it all out.
Right. Stop looking at whatever screen is in front of you. Lean in and just listen. Have you ever had this, I don't know, this creeping, quiet suspicion that you are completely, undeniably asleep?
Like, not physically asleep, obviously.
No, you are awake right now, but asleep in every other way that actually matters. You wake up, you go to work, you chase the next promotion, you buy the expensive coffee.
You pay the bills, you swipe, you scroll.
You sleep, and you repeat. And it is perfectly comfortable, it is entirely safe, but underneath all of that noise, there is this hushed, terrifying question. Are you just spinning in a death circle of ants?
Wow, yeah. The ant spiral.
You've seen that phenomenon, right? Where a group of ants loses the chemical pheromone track that leads them home, and so they just blindly follow the ant directly in front of them.
Right, they walk in a perfect, endless, dizzying spiral.
Exactly. Until they literally drop dead from exhaustion.
It is a profoundly chilling image when you really sit and think about it. Because the ants in that spiral, they have absolutely no idea they are trapped.
No idea at all.
To them, the path feels purposeful. They are moving, they are busy. Their entire reality is just the ant in front of them, so they genuinely believe they are making progress. But they are entirely bound by a predetermined closed loop.
Exactly. And that feeling, that sudden, shocking, skin-crawling realization of the loop is exactly where we are starting today's deep dive.
It's heavy stuff right out of the gate.
It is. We are exploring the excerpts, the atmosphere, and the incredibly heavy philosophical core of a deeply mysterious bilingual book. It is called Journey to Red Dawn, or in its original Turkish, Yaşa Meşalesi, written by Cagla Meydan. And I need to make an ironclad promise to you right now, right at the top, we are not going to spoil this book for you.
I mean, we couldn't even if we wanted to. The book just doesn't work like that.
Right. We're not going to summarize the plot, we are not going to map out the character arcs, and we are absolutely not going to reveal the ending.
No, the actual events of this narrative are a sacred mystery.
A completely sacred mystery. And they deserve to remain entirely hidden until you choose to open those pages yourself. Instead, our mission today is to step into the breathtaking, almost intimidating atmosphere of this text.
Yeah, intimidating is a good word for it.
We are going to decode its central metaphors, and we are going to confront the massive philosophical questions it demands that you answer.
Because this text isn't functioning as a mere novel. It operates more as a call to the heart.
Right.
It is an allegorical, mystical compass. The entire premise is designed to actively pull you, the reader, out of those lower frequencies of daily material survival.
That ant spiral we were just talking about.
Exactly, the ant spiral.
Yeah.
To draw you into what the text calls the cosmic sea of love. It is a direct, urgent invitation to step out of the death circle.
But logically, I mean, before anyone can embark on a sacred journey, before you can step out of the circle, you have to actually realize you are trapped.
Right, the ant has to stop looking at the ant in front of it.
Precisely. And that brings us to the catalyst of the book's entire philosophy, the awakening. Now, the text makes it very clear. This awakening is not some peaceful, serene morning stretch. It is agonizing.
Deeply agonizing.
Yeah.
The sources describe this moment as, well, opening your eyes at dawn one day and just being hit with terrifying, destabilizing questions.
Like what?
Like, what am I doing? When and how did I fall into this deadly vortex? Where did I come from? The book treats our everyday, worldly life as a dream within a dream.
It's like an illusion.
Yeah, it argues that reality as we know it is essentially a hologram. People are just actors caught in their own ethereal orbs. They are completely convinced that the play they are putting on is real.
Endlessly chasing fleeting bubbles like wealth or fame or power.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this, because I think we all intellectually know that chasing fame or money is, somewhat hollow. That's a pretty common trope.
Sure.
But the text takes it so much further. It's saying the entire physical framework of our daily reality is an illusion. It's not like waking up from a nap. It's more like playing a deeply immersive virtual reality game for so long that you genuinely forgot you have a headset on.
That's a great analogy, actually.
And the awakening the book describes isn't the relief of taking the headset off, it's the horrifying glitch where the screen stutters. Suddenly you see the wireframes and the pixels of the world you thought was solid rock.
Right.
You look at your own hands and realize your quote-unquote free will has just been following code. But here is what I want to push back on. Why does the book insist that this realization, this glitch, has to be inherently painful.
That's a good point.
Shouldn't waking up to the truth be a massive relief?
Well, this raises an important question, and it is a paradox that the book leans into heavily.
Yeah.
Why the pain? Well, consider your VR metaphor. If you've spent your entire life believing the game is real, then everything you value,
Everything you love.
right, your status, your bank account, your very identity is all tied to those pixels. In the text, to break out of the death circle, you have to actively shed the shell of that identity.
So you have to abandon your old habits.
Yes, your concrete beliefs, your societal titles, your fears. And shedding that shell is, mechanically speaking, a form of death. The ego doesn't want to die. It fights back with everything it has.
Because the ego only exists within the game.
Exactly. No birth happens without pain, and this is a rebirth. The book asserts that what we consider real is merely a shadow, but we are warmly attached to our shadows.
Yeah, we love them.
We do. To see the true light, you have to be willing to let those shadows burn away. It's not just taking off a headset. You are burning down the entire house you live in just so you can finally see the sky.
You are burning down the house you live in. Wow. But if the house is gone, if the VR headset shatters, where does that actually leave us?
That is the big question.
Because once the seeker realizes their everyday life is just an illusion, a shadow play, they are left standing in the ashes. They have to confront the actual nature of reality. If life isn't the physical grind we thought it was, what is it?
Right.
And that question pushes us into one of the most mind-bending concepts in the book. The transition from seeing life as a trap to seeing life as a story. The Midnight Tale.
The metaphor of the Midnight Tale is brilliant because it completely reframes human existence. The text presents a reality where a storybook isn't just ink dried on paper.
It's alive.
It breathes. It lives. It acts as an active, conscious invitation to the realm of truth. There's this beautiful, surreal quote in the source material. It says, reading life was like reading between the lines of a book.
And it flips the classic fairy tale opening right on its head. Instead of once upon a time, the text says once beyond a time.
Yes, once beyond a time.
It immediately strips away the rigid boundaries of clocks and calendars. It tells us we aren't bound by seconds and minutes. The book suggests that every traveler is a book themselves, and that humanity as a whole is part of an epic poem.
It's incredibly intimate, isn't it?
It is. The revelation here looks at the reader and basically says, this is the story of all of us. I love the poetry of that concept, but I have to stop and challenge it.
Oh, okay. Move for it.
If life is just a story, if humanity is just a pre-written epic poem, who is writing it? Because if we are all just characters in some universal breathing storybook, doesn't that completely strip away our free will?
That's the natural counter-argument, yeah.
Are we just acting out a script that the cosmos handed to us? I mean, if the ending of the poem is already written, why does our struggle even matter?
Well, what's fascinating here is how the text directly resolves that exact tension. It doesn't strip away free will at all. It actually completely redefines how free will operates.
How so?
Through the concept of the sealed book of the mind and the heart. In this philosophy, the reader and the read become the exact same entity. Yes, the universe, the divine creator, commands be, and creation instantly happens. But, and this is the crucial mechanical distinction in the text, that command happens in response to human willpower.
Wait, really? So the universe is essentially waiting for our cue?
Precisely. It is not a rigid script. It is a co-authored improvisational play. You are an active participant in creation.
That completely changes the dynamic.
It does. The tale is written collaboratively between the infinite vastness of the cosmos and the individual's courage to explore their own depths. As you make choices, as you set your deepest intentions, that is the exact moment the pen touches the paper.
Wow.
The universe provides the ink, the stage, and the energy, but the narrative literally unfolds in real time in response to your will. You break the seal of the book with your own choices.
Okay, but if the universe is waiting on our willpower to write this epic story, we clearly can't do that from our current state of being half asleep in the ant circle.
No, definitely not.
A sleeping person can't hold a pen. There has to be a mechanism for building that willpower, for waking up enough to actually co-author reality. How does the book suggest we evolve enough to take hold of that pen?
To write the story, you have to climb.
Climb.
Yes. The book represents this inner evolution as a massive, arduous, metaphysical climb up what it calls Mount Evolution. And as the seeker forces themselves up this mountain, shedding their ego, they inevitably reach a profoundly strange place called the Barzak.
The Barzak, yeah. The sources highlight this as a critical turning point.
It is the ultimate threshold. The word essentially means a barrier or a partition. The text describes it as the borderline where two seas meet but never mix.
Two seas that never mix.
Right. It is the exact razor-thin line between matter and meaning, between the physical body and the ethereal soul, between presence and absolute absence.
I need to push back on that imagery. A borderline where two seas meet but never mix. That sounds like a paradox. If they don't mix, how do you actually cross it? How do you transition from the sea of matter to the sea of meaning without drowning in the barrier between them?
Because you don't cross it as the person you were. You can't take your physical density into the sea of meaning.
Ah, I see.
The text uses incredibly specific, vivid imagery to explain how this crossing works. As the seeker approaches this threshold, the Barzak, they undergo a process of shedding their colors.
Shedding their colors.
Every identity, every trait, every emotion, every societal label is released. It's described like colors passing backward through a prism, stripping away until only pure white remains.
But why white? Usually when we talk about shedding the ego or losing ourselves, we picture fading to black or becoming completely transparent, like invisible. Why does the text insist on pure white light?
That is the genius of the metaphor. In physics, black is the absence of light. But white light is the ultimate integration of all visible colors.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you aren't losing your personality or being deleted into nothingness. You are reintegrating all the fragmented, separate, broken parts of your ego back into a unified, absolute whole. You are gathering up all your scattered colors and combining them into a single, unbreakable beam.
And once you are that unified beam of white light, then comes the leap. The terrifying, beautiful leap directly into the abyss where the seeker becomes nothing but a dot in the cosmos.
Right, they cross the Barzak.
They experience the infinite loop of creation and destruction. The text explicitly mentions that in this state, distance and gaps are entirely illusions. You realize that on a quantum level, the universe isn't just a bunch of empty space with things floating in it. Everything is an absolute solid mass of connected energy.
Everything is connected.
So what does this all mean for you and me sitting here today? Because I look at modern culture and we tend to treat enlightenment like an extreme sport. It's a shiny merit badge.
Oh, absolutely.
You meditate, you go on a silent retreat, you drink the expensive green juice, and you add enlightened to your spiritual resume. In our culture, enlightenment is about acquiring more. More peace, more clarity, more status, more followers.
Right, becomes just another form of accumulation.
Exactly. But the book is saying the exact opposite. It portrays enlightenment not as gaining more, but as becoming absolutely less. It is the ultimate, grueling act of undressing the ego until absolutely nothing remains but that single, unified quantum dot.
That is precisely the distinction the text makes between mere knowledge and actual wisdom. Knowledge is common. You can read 1,000 books, memorize quantum physics, and acquire vast knowledge while remaining totally trapped in your ego.
Still walking in the ant spiral.
Still in the spiral, just a very well-read ant. But wisdom, which the text calls irfan, is entirely different. Wisdom is knowing how to use the treasure once your ego is stripped away. When you leap into that abyss and become the dot, you aren't just sitting in an empty void.
What happened?
You are granted an awe-inspiring vision. The text describes witnessing the 13.8 billion-year journey of the universe. From the explosive Big Bang to the drifting stardust to the violent formation of the Earth, all the way to the human being.
Incredible.
And the realization that strikes the seeker is that none of it is inanimate. Not a single atom is dead. Every single particle in that 13.8 billion-year history is alive, purposeful, and rushing toward human consciousness.
Rushing toward us. The universe isn't a cold, dead machine. It's a living entity conspiring for 13.8 billion years just to create the observer. It's incredibly humbling.
It truly is.
So you reach the peak of Mount Evolution. You shed your ego, you become the white light, you cross the Barzak, and you witness the absolute majesty of creation. You think that's the end of the book, right? You've reached nirvana, you've won the spiritual lottery.
You'd think so.
But the text pulls the rug out from under us. Reaching the peak of nothingness is not the end of the journey at all. It is literally just the preparation for your actual purpose. Which brings us finally to the central titular metaphor of the book, the torch of life.
The Yasha Michelesi. The torch of life.
Yeah.
This is where all the metaphors finally converge. When the seeker has shed everything, when they finally stand completely stripped in the realm of meaning, their wand transforms.
The wand they used to climb.
Right. The staff they've been leaning on throughout this agonizing climb becomes wisdom irfan. It is no longer just data. It is internalized cosmic truth. and the flame that ignites upon that staff becomes the fire of love.
Wow.
But the true philosophical mic drop moment of the book isn't the ignition of the torch. It is what you were strictly commanded to do with it once it's lit.
Yes. Here's where it gets really interesting, because the book delivers this devastatingly beautiful, almost aggressively practical quote. It says, "The mountaineer is a good one as long as he can descend back to the foothills. Otherwise, he is a dead mountaineer."
The dead mountaineer.
It is the ultimate subversion of the classic hero's journey. The summit of the mountain isn't the finish line. It's literally just the supply closet where you go to get your torch.
I love that. That is a brilliant way to phrase it. The journey of existence is circular. You don't burn away your ego, cross the terrifying Barzak, and become reborn from your ashes just to stay up in paradise.
Floating in a state of detached, selfish bliss.
Exactly. If you do that, you are entirely useless to the cosmos. You are, as the text says, a dead mountaineer. You've acquired the fire of love, but you are keeping it where it's already light.
Because true salvation in the philosophy of this book is collective. Nobody makes it until we all make it.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it beautifully synthesizes the core belief of the entire narrative. True peace is found exclusively in service. The individual must go into the deep cosmos, must face the agony of shedding their worldly shell, all to find the ultimate light. But that light is completely, utterly devoid of value, unless it is physically brought back down into the dark, messy, painful, chaotic valleys of the human experience.
That makes perfect sense.
You find the light for one reason only, so you can illuminate the path for others who are still blindly marching in the death circle of ants.
You climb the mountain so you can come back down. It's breathtaking. And it completely changes the way you look at literally everything in your daily life. The annoying people you interact with, the frustrating struggles you face at work, the exhaustion of daily life. They aren't obstacles preventing your enlightenment.
No, they are the point.
They are the exact, specific places your enlightenment is meant to be applied.
And that is the ultimate daily test of the seeker. It's easy to be peaceful on a silent mountaintop, but can you hold the fire of love in the middle of the noise and the chaos of the lower world?
That's the real challenge.
Can you remember the 13.8 billion years of cosmic choreography when you were stuck in rush hour traffic or when you were dealing with profound grief or hardship? The torch of life isn't designed to look pretty on the mountain peak. It is a tool designed for the dark, claustrophobic corridors of the everyday world.
We have covered so much heavy ground today. We started with the agonizing glitch in the matrix, awakening out of the death circle.
We debated the realization that we are actively co-authoring the Midnight Tale with the universe using our own willpower.
We've stood at the precipice of the Barzak, stripped of all our fragmented colors until we became pure white light. And we've walked back down the rugged mountain carrying the torch of life to serve others.
But you must remember, what we've discussed today is just the bare scaffolding. It is merely the philosophical skeleton. The actual breathing narrative of Journey to Red Dawn, the specific characters, their trials, the magical, unpredictable unfolding of the events, that remains a deeply hidden treasure.
Waiting for you to open its pages and decode its mysteries for yourself? We haven't spoiled the magic today. We've just pointed our flashlights to exactly where the magic is buried.
The mystical compass has been handed to you. The rest of the journey required your willpower.
Exactly. So let me ask you directly. You've listened, you've heard the call today. You know about the comfortable, numbing, endless death circle of ants. You know about the terrifying, beautiful threshold of the Barzak and the cosmic silence of the mountaintop.
And you know that the epic poem of humanity only matters if you come back down into the messy valleys.
But I want to leave you with a thought we haven't touched on yet. Think about tomorrow, when you walk out your door, or when someone cuts you off in traffic, or when a coworker tests your patience. Usually, we judge them from inside our own little ethereal orb.
We view them as an NPC in our game.
Right, an obstacle to our peace. But if this book is right, they aren't an obstacle. They are just another mountaineer who is trapped in the dark, trying to find their way out of the ant spiral. They are the exact reason you're supposed to have a torch in the first place.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
How does that change the way you judge them? How does that change the way you respond? The only question left is the one you have to answer in the quiet of your own mind, perhaps tomorrow morning at dawn. Am I ready to light my own torch?
A profoundly heavy question, and one that only you can answer.
Until next time, keep exploring the story of all of us.